In the past, Diane would work on her big, blobby paintings. By Sunday, the loft floor would be scattered with wax papers covered with splotches of acrylic paint, sprayed with water and running together in dull purple streams. She used to work on a painting for months and then destroy it. Now she didn't paint at all. Instead, she used her staying up time to watch TV, walk the dogs, or work out biorhythm charts on the computer. On Sunday, Joey would come home from work with bags under his eyes and his tendons standing out in funny ways. Diane would have 2 small salads ready in matching red bowls that her grandmother had given her. There would always be a moist radish, neatly sliced and split apart on the top. They would eat the salad and go to sleep until Monday night. Then Diane would order sushi from the Japanese takeout place on the corner and arrange it on a long wooden chopping block when it came. They would cover it with salt and lemon and eat it with their fingers. Sometimes people would come over to buy drugs and they would play them records and chat. Then they would sleep. By Thursday morning they would be refreshed and ready to stay awake again until Sunday. They made love about once a month. It didn't last long because they both thought it was monotonous, and because Diane was disgusted by most of the things people do to stretch it out longer. However, when Joey started to think about Daisy, he stopped making romantic advances to Diane at all, and she resented it. She resented other things, too. She was annoyed by his wind-up toys. If he left them out on the floor, she'd kick them. She didn't like the frozen pecan rolls he ate on Wednesday morning. She would complain about how revolting they looked, and then eat half of them. Daisy was living with somebody, too, but she ran around the bookstore babbling about her unfaithfulness as if it were the only thing she had to talk about. He liked to watch her pattering from desk to desk in her white sneakers, her jeans rasping softly between her small thighs with each narrow stride. She just had to know what Evelyn and Ariel and everyone else around her thought about so-and-so not calling when he said that he would. Then she wanted to know what they thought of her calling him and cursing at him, or something like that. Her supervisor, Tommy, tolerated her because he was the kind of gay man who liked to hear about girls' romantic problems. He disapproved of her running around behind her boyfriend's back, but he enjoyed having the chance to moralize each time some new man dragged her through the dirt, as she put it. Daisy would say, "Tommy, I'm trying to make him leave. He won't go. I can't do anything about it." Joey had once heard Tommy admit to another supervisor that Daisy was a terrible worker. "But she's a very special case," said Tommy. "I'd never fire her. What else could she do?" Joey felt a pang of incredulous affection. Could she actually be less competent than the other bums in the typing pool? Everyone in it was a bad worker, except Evelyn. Evelyn was the only other girl there. She was an energetic, square-jawed woman who would type 80 words a minute. She wore tight jeans and cowboy shirts and thick black eyeliner that gathered in blobs in the corners of her eyes. Her streaked blonde hair hung in her face and made her look masked and brutal. She had a collection of books about various mass murderers on her desk, and she could tell you all their personal histories. The other 3 typists were fat, morose homosexuals who sat at their desks and ate from bags of cookies and complained. They had worked in the bookstore for years, and they all talked desperately of getting out. Ariel had been around the longest. He was 6 feet 3 inches tall and had round, demure shoulders, big hips, and square, fleshy breasts that embarrassed him. He had a small head, a long, bumpy nose, and large brown eyes that were by turns sweetly candid or forlorn, but otherwise had a disturbing, blank quality. He had enjoyed a brief notoriety in punk rock circles for his electric piano music. He talked about his past success in a meek, wistful voice,